I've been given a gift from beyond. It's kind of neat. My dad was a big radio disc jockey back in Flint for years and years and years. And most anybody in Flint in the 60s or 70s or 80s knew who my dad was or had heard of him or met him. Well, he was a big band fan. And he did a show called 5 Minutes of Yesterday, separate from anything that anybody from Flint may or may not have heard. It was a little syndicated show that he did, and it was literally 5 minutes with a story about big bands and big band people. But I remember growing up, we'd be driving in the car listening to big band music, and a song would come on, and Dad would tell us a story about the arranger, or about the band leader, or maybe a trumpet player in the band. But he always had a story about every song. There was just no end to his stories. And he retired in 1985 or 86 and was done with radio at that point, other than commercials and things like that. But my nephew Nicholas was interested in the big bands and was talking to Dad about it one day. So Dad started sending Nicholas these tapes. There was his own personal little radio shows for Nicholas. And Dad passed away on April 14th last year. And Nicholas brought these cassette tapes up and says, "You guys might be interested in these." Yeah, we were. So Bob digitized them, and I got a copy of them. And I've been driving in the car listening to Dad. So it's like Dad's riding in the car with me. Here's a sample of what I'm talking about.
Glenn Miller achieved that marvelous sound of his by using a conventional saxophone section, 4 saxophones, playing harmony, one saxophone playing the lead or the melody, and then a clarinet doubling that melody. And that's what gave Miller that sound. Well, when they recreated it on that last record, they didn't get the blend as good as Miller always had it. But that's neither here nor there. Let's skip along now to the Glenn Miller Orchestra in one of his great classics. This is In the Mood.
So that's Dad, just talking to Nick on a cassette tape. And there are like 14 of these things. So, man, what a great find that was to get to hear my dad again, just visiting with us. That's my story, but sure is neat.